In this video, I'll share my thoughts on some important issues sa programming, the trade secrets, fair use, and plagiarism. So, these topics are connected sa ethics and they show how the programmers, companies, and even the society need to balance fairness and honesty. So, the first part is the code as a secret. Explain when and why a programmer's source code might be considered a trade secret. How does the concept of a trade secret apply differently to a company's paid employee compared to a freelance programmer? So, yung source code, this is often treated as a trade secret when it gives a company a clear advantage. So, for example, a company, nakadevelop sila ng unique program or a unique algorithm that helps them stand out to other markets. So, some people might say na these companies have the right to protect this code because nag-invest sila ng time, money, and resources to create it. If others could easily copy that source code, then the company might lose its competitive edge. On the other hand, some might say na programmers, especially for freelancers or developers, they should have more rights to the code since they own it, since they personally write it. So, they are the creators and their creativity should be protected. So, in my opinion, when you are hired as an employee sa isang company, the company will, obviously, they own the code because it is part of the job that you are paid to do. But, let's say for example, if you are a freelancer, the ownership should remain with you unless the contract clearly transfers those rights sa client. Next part is the fair use dilemma. When is it okay to use a small part of someone else's copyrighted code without their permission? Is fair use for code different from fair use for music or movies? So, fair use is the idea that you can use a small part of someone else's work. So, obviously, you're not asking for permission. Sa mga books or music or sa mga movies, this might mean you're quoting a line or using a short clip. But sa programming, fair use is more limited. Some people say that it's fine, okay lang na mag-copy ng few lines of code for learning, teaching, or fixing bugs. But meron din iba nagsasabi na even a short piece of code can be critical to how a program works. So, copying it can cause harm or unfair advantages. So, personally, I believe fair use in coding should apply to education and research. So, para naman sa mga actual projects, yung mga huge projects, it is safer and it is more ethical to ask for permission before using that source code. For the third part, the problem of plagiarism. In your own words, what is the biggest difference between plagiarism and copyright infringement? Can you plagiarize code without committing copyright infringement? So, yung plagiarism at saka copyrighted, they are the same. I mean, they are related but they are not the same. Plagiarism meaning you're taking someone else's work and you're pretending that it is yours. While copyright infringement naman, this talks about using others' work without legal permission. So, they might say that plagiarism is worse because it talks about honesty and trust, while some might think that copyright infringement is mas mabigat siya, more serious because it can lead to legal punishment. For me, both are wrong, but in different ways. Plagiarism will damages your reputation and shows a lack of integrity, while yung copyright infringement naman, it breaks the law. And yes, you can plagiarize without breaking copyright. So, an example of this is when I use open source code that allows reuse, but di ako nagbigay ng credit, and claim I I claim that I wrote it. I am plagiarizing even though it might be legally allowed. The next part is the designer's rights. An engineer is paid by a company to design a new device. The design is brilliant and unique. Who should own the rights to that design? The engineer, which is the author, or the company, or the financer. So, when an engineer designs something design something new for a company, the question is who should own it. While some might say that the engineer should, since it was their skill and their creativity that produced the idea, meron din namang tawag nito. Many people would say that the company should own since they provided the salary, resources, at saka opportunity. My view is that the company should own the rights because sila yung nag-finance, because they financed the work and took the business risk. However, I also believe that the engineers should be credited for their invention and possibly rewarded if the design is especially successful. That way, both sa investor and the creator will get the recognition that they deserve. As my conclusion, in short, programming ethics is about balance. The companies must protect their trade secrets, but also the programmers deserve fair treatment. Fair use in code is very limited compared sa other media. Plagiarism is about honesty and integrity, while copyright is about law. And ownership of design usually belongs siya sa company, but recognition belongs to the creator too. So as programmers, future professionals, we should not only follow the law but also practice fairness, respect, and integrity in our work.